Here's a question I hear all the time from therapists setting up their sensory rooms: water table or sand table? And honestly, the answer might surprise you because it's not really either or.
Right, exactly. Both provide really distinct sensory benefits, and understanding those differences is essential, especially when we're working with kids in pediatric therapy settings. Water tables are fantastic for fine motor skills and cause and effect learning. Pouring, scooping, using little water wheels. All of that strengthens hand muscles and hand eye coordination.
And there's that calming aspect too, right? I mean, water play has this naturally soothing quality.
Absolutely. The tactile sensation, the rhythmic sound of splashing, it's therapeutic. For children who need to release tension or self soothe, water gives them this fluid, dynamic experience that can help regulate their sensory system. It's particularly helpful for kids with anxiety or sensory processing issues.
That makes sense. So, what about sand tables? Where do they shine?
Sand is where you get that resistance based strength building. The physical act of scooping, digging, lifting heavy pails that builds grip strength and works those larger muscle groups in the arms and shoulders. Plus, sand can be molded, which opens up this whole world of imaginative play. Kids create scenes, castles, miniature worlds.
So, it's more about creative construction versus the exploratory scientific side of water?
Exactly. Water introduces early physics concepts: buoyancy, volume, flow. Kids are making predictions about what sinks and what floats. Sand, on the other hand, engages proprioceptive and vestibular senses. You've got body awareness and balance coming into play as children shift their weight, kneel, dig. It's a full body sensory experience.
That's really interesting. I worked with a preschooler once who would spend 20 minutes just sifting sand through her fingers, and her focus was incredible during that time.
That tactile investigation is so valuable. Sand gives them this dry, textured experience that can be patted, molded, sifted. It's excellent for tactile stimulation and, honestly, for building hand strength. The resistance when digging or building structures is something you just don't get with water. I actually had one little guy in my sessions who used to call sand table time his digging workout. He wasn't wrong.
Ha! I love that. Kids have a way of putting things so simply. So, if you had to choose one for a therapy room, how would you decide?
Well, it depends on your goals. For younger toddlers, 1 to 2 years, who are just learning cause and effect interactions, water tables are great. For preschoolers and older kids, 3+, who are developing more complex motor skills and imaginative play, sand tables are ideal. But honestly, a combined table gives you the best versatility for full sensory integration.
That point about sensory integration sets up our next piece: how to expand these materials. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
At Little People's Cove, we specialize in helping pediatric therapy centers create calming, engaging environments with commercial-grade sensory solutions. Our sand and water tables are designed for durability and frequent use in clinical settings, supporting fine motor development, sensory regulation, and therapeutic engagement through hands-on play. Ideal for occupational therapy and early intervention, these tables help therapists deliver meaningful sensory experiences that keep children regulated and actively participating. Learn more at www.littlepeoplescove.com.
Picking up on sensory integration, how do you handle situations where you want to switch things up beyond just sand and water?
Oh, that's where it gets fun. You can use alternative materials like dry beans, rice, kinetic sand, even shaving cream. Each provides a different tactile experience and keeps the sensory input fresh. Kinetic sand, for example, requires effort and coordination to manipulate, which improves grip strength and develops pinch and grasp movements.
So it's about the table itself, but also what you put in it.
Exactly, and you can introduce tools: funnels, sifters, measuring cups, eyedroppers. Those add layers of cognitive challenge. Kids start working with volume, learning which container holds more or less. They're building nerve connections in the brain, which is essential for cognitive growth. Or to put it another way, those early math and science concepts get wired in through play.
I love that. And from a practical standpoint, what about mess management? Because let's be honest, sand gets everywhere.
Yeah, water tables are definitely easier to clean. But with sand, you can use containment strategies: mats underneath, designated play zones. and the benefits outweigh the cleanup hassle. The calming, repetitive nature of sand play can be incredibly grounding, aiding in emotional regulation and mindfulness.
Right, I see.
So, to everyone listening, have you thought about how these sensory experiences might fit into your current therapy plans? Because the social piece is huge too. Both sand and water areas encourage kids to share, take turns, communicate. You often see collaborative play, building a castle together, making sea animals talk to each other in the water. Those social skills are just as important as the sensory input.
And for kids on the autism spectrum, what have you seen in terms of therapeutic benefits?
Water tables, in particular, are instrumental for sensory integration and emotional regulation. The controlled, soothing medium can gently stimulate or calm the system, which is helpful for kids who experience hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity. Sand play also helps develop processing systems and can improve cooperation and communication, often leading to calming and comfort.
That's powerful. So we've established that both tables provide unique benefits. Water for calming, cognitive, and fine motor work. Sand for strength, creativity, and full-body sensory input. The key is understanding your specific therapy goals and, maybe investing in a combined option if you can.
Absolutely. And remember, these are therapeutic tools, not simply play areas. They're essential for higher level learning, mathematical concepts, scientific inquiry, language development. The sand and water table can be two of the most therapeutic spaces in your room when used intentionally. Put another way, when you match the medium to your therapeutic objective, that's when you see real progress.
I think that's the takeaway. Intentionality. Knowing why you're using each medium and how it supports your therapeutic objectives. Have you considered which modality aligns best with the kids you're currently working with?
That's the right question to ask, and honestly, the answer will be different for each therapist depending on their population and setting.
Thanks so much for breaking this down today. Really valuable stuff.
My pleasure. It's always great to talk about tools that make a real difference in therapy outcomes.